Let's talk about why people are most often stuck. So I'm saying this because this video is like I take it to heart. It's something that I personally have experienced and I continue to experience on a daily basis on why people who are smart are stuck. Now, I'm not here to stroke my ego and say how smart I am, but over the years, people have commended me for it, and sometimes I look at myself being stuck or being paralyzed and ask myself, if you're so smart, why can't you figure it out? And over and over again, the answer has been like a mystery to me because if you're so smart, why can't you figure it out? And what I have been doing is I've literally been studying people, quote unquote, who think they aren't so smart and who actually get results. And the answer is basically funny and simple at the same time. Is when you're smart, you tend to take yourself very, very lightly. You tend to see that, oh, everything is easy. So you're like you tend to you tend to discard things that seem simple and easy and go for things that are more challenging, more complex. When you're out there, when you think you're smart or you're praised to be smart, you want to make sure that every single move you make is calculated. So what happens when you want to come into a new situation is that because you're afraid of failing, you begin to research as much as possible. Now, there's a problem with research. Is one, there's no end to research. One, because there's always missing parts, or there's always missing context. Even most of this scientific research, if you watch them closely, there is always one form of missing context that will completely change the outcome of the research. Now, that's one. Two is when they analyze a situation, they tend to overanalyze. And when you overanalyze, you get to see some things make sense if you look at them from a perspective, while the opposite also makes sense if you look at it from a different perspective. So, for example, this is just very, very hypothetical. So when it talks about working hard versus working smart, there are reasons that people that work hard get results. There are reasons that people that work smart also get results. The problem is with when to apply hard work and when to apply smart work. And in such a situation, the people who get the best results use the both. So when somebody who is quote unquote smart gets into a situation of whether I should work hard or work smart, he has analyzed the benefit of working hard, has analyzed the benefit of working smart. I mean, this is a situation where he has to choose which to use. So he's saying that both places, in both situations, work. I mean, if he's not being biased. That is why I made a video on non-binary thinking. So when they overanalyze, they become paralyzed as which should I do? Which should I do? And that is how the mind begins to work against them. And it becomes funny because sometimes the people who are very smart, they kind of like doubt themselves because the more you know about a topic, there's also a high chance that there is something you are missing in that topic. And this is what I say is the more you know, the more you don't know that you don't know. So, for example, you're reading on the topic and you come across a concept in that topic. You are aware of the concept, but you don't understand it yet. So now, at the back of your mind, you think you want to research what that concept is. But guess what? In any given field, there are layers and layers of complexity. But somebody who is quote unquote doesn't see the need to overanalyze. All he has to do is just look at the bare surface and just take little steps, hoping that he figures it along the way. But somebody who is smart would want to sit down and analyze the situation. And we mostly see this when somebody who is smart wants to get into a relationship and he begins to think everything. So, for example, as guys dealing with women, you want to think women's behaviors, but the thinking is mostly skewed because what women say they want is not really what they want. And it's the irony of it is you need some level of balance of thinking and feeling. You need the both of them in such situations. And one other thing I think we should be very, very careful of is, I would say, social media advice. Because we tend to a lot of people take social media advice from the internet, and because the person probably has a good amount of followers, might think that the person knows what he's talking about. I mean, if you have ever heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect, where the smart ones doubt themselves. They doubt themselves because they are stuck. They have overanalyzed and they are not sure of the best solution. But the person who is quote unquote stupid and famous carries his ideas to be the most grandiose ideas that are out there, that are very practical. You see how everything begins to play out, right? You see how everything begins to play out. So it's a little it's very complex, and as I always say, it's not something that we should be bothered about if you happen to be in a situation, because I'll say it's easy for you to get out of the rough. I've already mentioned the answer. You need to balance your thought process and the way you feel, because when you begin to overthink things, it creates some form of feeling, anxiety, uncertainty. But if you can match that feeling of certainty with some level of thinking, then it becomes easier to act. Then it becomes easier to say, you know what? And this is why I think everybody should think with a level of first principles, not with not with a biased nature. Because most people who think they are thinking think based on a biased nature, not because I think I'm already going deep into a spiral already. So know a few things. That first of all, if you think you're smart, you just can't know it all. That is the first thing to realize. Even if you think you know everything about any given topic, all it takes is for one variable in that topic to change, and guess what? A new field of things expands. And it's a thing about the universe. The universe is constantly expanding, constantly. So it's not a thing where things are stable. Imagine how many people for centuries believed that the human cannot run a mile under 4 minutes. How many people did that? The smartest people did that. The dumbest people believe that. But all it took was for somebody to figure it out. So take it or leave it. Most of the things that we think about, which kind of like we believe, are things that were told to us that we believe, and most of our thinking rides on top of our belief system. So what that means is people believe a certain concept and they think that concept is correct. So they begin to whatever they want, they begin to think on that concept and think it's correct. Further digging themselves down into a hole. That is why you literally have people on these woke ideas. Now, I may be biased for these woke ideas, but I mean, some things to me feel like common sense. There is gender. There is gender. If someone passes 100 years from now, they can examine the bones and tell the gender, the allocated chromosomes of that body. But no, the woke intellectuals will tell you otherwise. Will question. And if you sit down and listen to their question, hypothetically makes sense. But they put themselves into a funny, interesting rut. So just know that in any given field, you cannot know it all. You cannot know it all. Then all you have to do is to basically take action. First of all, break things down. And I'm a very big believer in thinking from first principles. Thinking from first principles in any topic. You don't have to figure out the entire system. Know the basics, the foundations, and act. Then if you really want to get this concept, you need to balance your thinking with some level of feeling. So that means is instead of feeling overwhelmed and what do they call it, stressed, think with some level of accuracy, first principles, and correct your feeling. It becomes easier to act, regardless of how you feel. And two things to keep in mind when doing this is you should be humble enough to know that you don't know it all and you cannot know it all. At the same time, you need some level of sustained curiosity to know that whatever it is that you know, whatever you think that is true or you believe to be true, can actually be false. So your curiosity should be there so that when you are presented with a new set of data, you can actually openly look at it and evaluate it properly. That is it, actually. So be humble enough and have some level of curiosity. There's not so much to this video because something that I was thinking over the years, and is what kept me stuck in so many areas of life, where I think, and I see somebody do the direct opposite, making the mistakes that I am preventing, and him making progress. That's why I made this video. So thank you very much. I don't know who this video is going to help. I just felt like putting it out there because I examined myself and I've seen a lot of people do the same thing, get stuck. So thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Kindly share my video with somebody who you think is going to find it valuable. It's actions like this that help the channel grow, that help the movement grow. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. And bye for now.